The biggest question in life is, what is man's duty in the world? Why was I created? What is my purpose? What is my mission? What am I here for? What am I here to do? Now, the answer is Torah and Mitzvot. And I'm sure you've heard that before, and maybe you're even reaching for that mouse to click away from this video because you've heard it all before. You don't necessarily understand it or find it very appealing or very inspiring. In this video, I would like to give you a very intuitive, appealing answer to what this means, what it's really about, no beating around the bush. I'm going to treat you like an intellectual, wise person who really wants to know. So I'm going to tell you the answer. I'm going to explain it properly. So please stick around till the end of the video, hear me out, and then let me know what you think in the comments. Now, let's just acknowledge that, okay? If a person wants to know what his purpose of life is, isn't it nice at least to know that the answer is quite simple? Pick up the Torah. There's 613 things that you're here to do. Pick one and start doing it. It's good to know. We need to have meaning and purpose in life. We can survive almost anything, but surviving without having a purpose, feeling like life means nothing, it's random, that really is one of the cruelest punishments you can give a person, taking away the meaning of his life. And we're all suffering that nowadays to an extent. But it is nice to know that, yes, open the book, find a mitzvah, do it. I don't think that's what people have a problem with. I think what people have a problem with is, why? How am I supposed to put myself into this? Anybody can pick up a mitzvah and do it. But what's my purpose? So listen, let's just go through it. The world exists only for the sake of Torah. Torah and mitzvah are practically synonymous. The Torah are Hashem's wisdom and will absolutely, genuinely, truly. By performing them, we are fulfilling our very reason for being created, our mission and our purpose. This is to serve Hashem, and this is considered a service because we're actually performing His will, what He needs from us, genuinely, giving Him what He wants. Now here's the key. Here's the thing that I want to tell you that's probably new, something that is very rarely explained in the yeshivas or in other theological seminaries in the world, or in general, common knowledge. The question is, should we be keeping the Torah and Mitzvot, serving God, altruistically, or should we be doing it for the reward? Now, I would imagine that most people think it's for the reward. It's very common to say that God doesn't need anything. The Mitzvot must be meaningless to Him because they're so finite. Our performance of them is so flawed and so puny, and so we are flawed and puny compared to Him. We are nothing compared to Him. So it has to be for us. Now I'm going to dispel that myth in this video, okay? Listen. Ideally, yes, they should be done altruistically without thought for the reward. As Antigonos, the man of Socha, used to say, do not be like servants who serve the master with the expectation of receiving a reward, but be like servants who serve the master without the expectation of receiving the reward. Now, how to achieve that takes explanation, possibly a whole book or more, a whole 200 years of Chassidut. But let's bring a summary and introduction and give you an intuitive understanding of how it's supposed to work, hopefully to inspire you to take on further study. So, it says in Derech Hashem that Hashem created the world in order to give goodness from His goodness to another. He then proceeds to explain that our duty is to emulate God, and this is how we receive that good. So, what we know so far is that the best good is Hashem, and what's good about Him is that His desire is to give to another. Therefore, conclude that the best good of all is giving to others, serving others. I recently saw a little clip that said that one of the reasons why people fail at their marriages is because they stop serving each other. And he gives a very interesting comparison. When we're dating, we serve each other happily. We'll gladly drive out, we'll gladly pay, we'll gladly do anything for the other person, even take out the rubbish. As soon as we get married, as soon as the ring's on the finger, we stop doing that. We make a huff and a puff when we take out the rubbish, the trash. We have a huff and a puff to go out on a date and to spend money. And that lack of desire to serve is the issue. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because when we were dating, we did actually enjoy serving each other. It wasn't put on. The The fact that we stopped after marriage is another question. And I'm not going to deal with that here. I've got a whole series on intimacy in marriage that I'm working on right now. But the point is that serving others, when we truly are in love with somebody, serving them is a great delight. In fact, it's the greatest delight in the world. There's nobody happier in the world than somebody who's in a new, intimate relationship. Where does this come from? Well, Hashem gave us a good Mashal in Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. I am for my beloved is for me. Now, this is a Torah relationship. This is a godly relationship. This helps us understand. Now, think about it. There are quite a few ways that a relationship can work. One way is that both parties can be selfish, but they complement each other so well that they can exist in a functional relationship with some goodness. You know, I've got things that you like, you've got things that I like, therefore let's get married. This is not godly though, and therefore this is not the best good. The best good is when both parties are into each other more than they are into themselves. The only way to make sense of this is following the line of the Rambam in the Mishnah on Avot that we quoted from Antignos Ish Sochor. And he says, and this pious one, Antignos, said that you should not serve God, may he be blessed, in order that he will do good to you and benefit you with kindness, and that you should hope for the benefit and serve him for its sake. Indeed, serve him like servants that are not hoping for an endowment or the giving of kindness. What he meant with this is that they should serve him from love, as we said in chapter 10 of Sanhedrin. Like the couple that are infatuated with each other and love serving each other, that's how we should serve Hashem as well. And the Ramchal says so clearly in Mesilat Yesharim chapter 18. Fortunate is the man whose toil is in Torah and gives gratification to his maker, he quotes. He who truly loves the Creator, blessed be he, will not strive and intend to discharge himself with the known obligations binding on every Jew. Rather, what will happen to him is the same as that of a son who loves his father. Even if his father reveals a slight indication of something he desires, already the son will strive greatly to the best of his ability to fulfill this thing or service. Conclude from all this that the greatest good is serving others, one's beloveds. Taste and see that Hashem is good. By default, our entire orientation in life is to gain pleasure by fulfilling our own desires and wants. During that time, the idea that serving others and giving to others might be pleasurable sounds far-fetched, and at best is a nice little idea that probably is true to some extent. The truth is, it takes wisdom via Torah learning and experience, i.e. taste it, via performing mitzvot, especially getting married and having children, for one to see the truth of it. In fact, my advice to people in general is to not assume you know what you want. This is one of the ways that our own arrogance gets to us, especially in our youth. We think we know what we want and we think that's never going to change. And there's no interest in considering that we might be wrong in that. And we end up making decisions that ruin our lives. And I hate to bring a bummer on that, but maybe I could say it in a positive way. One of the things about life is that you don't know that you're going to like something until you try it. So therefore, it's really important to try the good things that everybody tells you are good. Look, if you don't want children right now, it's most likely because you've never had your own child. You don't know what it feels like. You may have had to look after somebody else's child, and of course there's very little pleasure in that. In fact, if anything, it's a burden, it's a bore. But everybody tells you when it's your child, it's different, and they're telling you the truth. I don't know, maybe the first time you looked at pizza, you probably thought, what is that? It's cheese, I hate cheese. Ugh. And the first time you put it in your mouth, you're like, I love this. And then you completely change your mind and identity. I'm a pizza lover, you know? So a lot of people fall into the trap of saying, I don't want kids. I'm never going to want kids. So therefore, I'm not even going to try it. Let's give an example of a husband. A truly holy and devoted husband will tell you, hands down, no pleasure or wonder of the universe could possibly compare to the delight he takes in bringing his wife a coffee in the morning. Not because he will get a reward out of it, but actually serving her, fulfilling her needs, great and small, is its own reward. He is for his beloved, not for himself. His own needs and desires pale in comparison to hers. He feels the tug of her need as a true and delightful privilege for him to be able to serve. And he has been blessed to experience the taste of true goodness and godly delight. So now we can understand our Mishnah. Is there a reward in serving Hashem and each other? Yes, the best reward imaginable. Should we be doing it for the reward? No, this ruins it. It's no longer a true service. It's simply a self-service and adds a bitter taste to what should be purely sweet. Fulfilling the needs and desires of someone else, someone we love and adore and care about. Because one is completely and utterly devoted to them, one with them. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. That's what oneness really is all about. As we stated above, the Torah and Mitzvot are Hashem's absolute will. Therefore, by performing them, we are truly serving Him. In so doing, we are emulating Him and becoming one with Him, and we will receive Him as our reward in Olam Haba. See Derech Hashem. Another way to see it or apply it is like this. Don't read the statement, Hashem gave us the purpose of receiving the best good, as Him giving us the purpose. It's Hashem's purpose to give us the best good. It's His purpose, not ours. Ours, as we stated above, is Torah Mitzvot, and in so doing, emulate Hashem by giving from our goodness to others. Now, the Lubavitch Rebbe clarifies for us a couple of points. This aspect that we're talking about of our relationship with Hashem and with each other comes from the notion of being His servants. When we say we are your children, we are your servants. And this, by the way, is also the husband-wife relationship mentioned throughout Chazal, i.e. a husband and a wife view each other as their master, and they are servants of the master. At Har Sinai, when Hashem became ours and we accepted b'mesiras nefesh, with self-sacrifice, which means we gave up our entire life to Him. And that included our own personal self-gratification, our pleasure. We gave that to Him. That's part of our life, isn't it? Therefore, the reward in Olam Haba cannot be us having our own self-gratification. Therefore, the Lubavitcher Rebbe clarifies the only logical conclusion, that when we go to Olam Haba, what's Hashem going to reveal to us? How much our performance of mitzvot meant to Him. That is what we are going to take infinite sublime delight in. And that knowledge is going to be our delighting in Hashem, as mentioned in the introduction to Mesilat Yesharim. A reward and a delight far greater and more holy than personal gratification. Now, the astute listener will read between the lines and see what the greatest goodness of all is, having each other. Not the things about each other, but each other ourselves. I don't want your Olam Haba, all I want is you, as the Alter Rebbe famously sang. It's enough to, so to speak, satisfy God, and if we follow His guidance, i.e. the Torah, we will taste of it ourselves, and by keeping the mitzvot, we will bring about this great oneness He is after, for His sake, and it will be our reward too, for the sake of everybody else. We might also enjoy it too, but let's not focus on that. V'haya Adonai lemelech hakol haaretz, v'ayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, v'shmo echad. May this great day arrive without delay.